Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again is my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Stephen Four. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog. Great to be back.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's always good when the crew's back together.
Oh, no doubt. We miss you, Kenny.
Oh, I missed you guys. It was been so long. That hurt when you guys left me.
Yeah, but we know that you didn't enjoy your time at all. You were in concentration camp.
It was awful.
You were not fed delicious tacos. You did not have alcoholic beverages.
None.
So
yeah, it looked kind of rough. Your accommodations looked pretty bad too.
Oh man, I felt so homeless. It was just like, man, basically I had to do some things I wasn't proud of just to pay for rent out there, in the Keys.
Yeah.
No doubt.
All joking aside, had a great weekend, but I missed you guys. I'm glad to be back.
Well, now you're back. Let's take a quick break and hear something from our sponsors and jump right into it.
Dear veterans, quickly make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at dicehead.com have rewarded us all with an extra 6% discount on all dicehead.com merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
All right, so I think we got a really good lineup for tonight's podcast. Obviously, there's been some new 40K units. We got Skarbrand coming, crazy new Tau Titan as well. Some interesting other releases on the horizon from some other companies too. And it's a really exciting time. We're sliding into October. Everybody's getting in their routine. And, how you guys feeling?
Oh my God. I'm so lost, cause I was in that like Jimmy Buffett, concert basically for like 3 days. And so I'm like, wait, Tau? What? Skarbrand? So many things, man.
It really came out of nowhere. I mean, it's been with the last podcast, we were talking about, the Codex Tau spoilers, the new units that got spoiled. And then all of a sudden, boom, there's a new Tau unit. Boom, there's the Skarbrand. And it's been a hectic pace for sure. Right. So we're already jumping back into it. People are like, Age of Sigmar, what?
40K's back. It's been how long since we had a 40K?
I think like 13 weeks? Something.
Yo, and it's a perfect timing. We can keep going with these little shenanigans, or we can start talking about this Tau, because I cannot wait to lend my opinion on this stupid new Tau. It is killing me to talk about it.
Oh, the new Forge Roll suit?
Yeah. The super suit.
The 600 points of awesome.
Yo, obviously that suit is amazing. I mean,
all right, let's break that bad boy down, because he is he's pretty good. He is.
Everybody realizes that I might play Nids every once in a while, and I might have a Hierophant that I thoroughly enjoy. Now everybody at home should now realize that a Hierophant is a bitch compared to this new Tau thing for 600.
Well, Juice, I think you're getting ahead of yourself, because this guy, it can't be that good. I mean, he probably doesn't even have a 2-up save.
He does.
Oh, well, I mean,
obviously he's got to be in the same point cost as my.
He's obviously 1,000 points. Yeah.
Model.
No, he's about half.
Okay, that's fine. That makes sense. He's obviously not toughness 9. Doesn't have 10 wounds then.
He is toughness 9 and 10 wounds.
So you're telling me that he can't have better shooting than 12 ballistic skill 3, strength 10 shots?
Yeah, I mean, he's got some apocalyptic barrage, 3 templates, strength 8. Oh, and he shoots D massive template.
Oh, a 7-inch D. Got it.
Well, he doesn't. Well, obviously he doesn't have an invulnerable save in any way.
No, just a 4-up that works against D.
You mean
absolutely unbelievable? Are we even in the same realm? Is this the same guy? Get out of here.
He also has Feel No Pain.
Yeah,
of course he's gargantuan. I mean, it's silly. I mean, he doesn't have he doesn't have hit and run, thankfully, right?
No, and he only moves 12 inches.
Yo, this is unbelievable. And let's just put this in perspective, y'all. We're talking about an army. The number one army that can buff others is what? Yep. Tau.
Mostly, yeah.
Marker lights. So you're telling me this dude his stat line doesn't say a 7-inch D that ignores cover, but with two marker lights they do.
Yeah, I mean, like, unless they completely change Tau, this guy is going to be, when you want this 7-inch D template to hit, it's going to hit and it's going to ignore cover. Like, it's going to be a problem. Like, like, you're going to be picking up entire units from this guy.
Yo, it's unbelievable. And now I'm sure that we in the podcast community are not going to be the first people griping about this model. Furthermore, we aren't going to be the last.
Well,
I leave this with a caveat. I try not to bitch too much. I'm just going to call bullshit when I hear bullshit.
Well, first of all,
that's exactly what this is.
I don't know what caviar has to do with any of this, but I can tell you that that if the current Tau book doesn't get a huge power OP, or just bringing it back to the level that we've seen with the other dexes this year,
if they drastically change marker lights, if they make marker lights not do what they do now, it's a beginning, it's a start. But it's like what we said, they're not going to let Tau suck. They've made sure, like, Tau sucked for long enough. It's Tau's time. It's Eldar's time. Eldar and Tau are going to be strong. Chaos had their time. Chaos is going to be weak. You know, like, Space Marines in the comeback, but it's just the edition that we live in right now. Well, they don't think gargantuan creatures are better than armor for some reason, so they give us these amazing stat lines for unrealistic point costs without realizing that high toughness, multiple wounds is so much better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, I would like to quote you a little bit, Kenny, here is like, yo, let's bring some spiciness and some flair into a codex. Just don't arbitrarily ignore cover, twin linked, just everything. That is not spicy. That is not flair.
That's lazy.
That is lazy.
That is lazy.
I swear on everything that is holy. If their spiciness and their flair is literally almost a carbon copy from the old decks, but you get this new cool big guy. Like, come on now.
I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah, like, come on, man. It's like, give some cool rules, like, get some built-in stuff. Like, I love, as much as it was frustrating because it was really tough to play against, but I love their supporting fire aspect. Yo, that is super fluffy. I love introducing the crew like they did. Other armies have, zombies, or not even necessarily termagants, but like
tar pit units, but their units are very bubble wrap, tactical with infiltrate. Yeah. Like, they got all sorts of tech.
Let's put the crew back into it, right? Like, let's give them, instead of necessarily giving them like 1 billion D shots and all that because you feel that's how they have to be competitive. How about this, GW? Let's make crew 4. I'm holding my hands up here, like 3/4 of an inch better than what they are in close combat, and you'll see a big difference, I think. If Crude had 2 base attacks, 3 off the chart or something like that, maybe with their weapons, their strength 4, once a turn or once a game, they can swing their rifle with a big sharp object on the end of it for a strength 5 attack, AP 4. I don't know, something like, give some flair like that so people can repel things than necessarily like, well, only way to keep Tau competitive is they need A, triple the amount of shots, ignore everything, and D.
Now, I want to quote Juice back in the day. Now, this is a great segue into a really spicy topic that we have obviously talked about a billion times, and we're very passionate about it, about meta shifts and rules changes. But, something that Juice always used to say to me when people would say, this is the difference between an FAQ, a real FAQ, and a rules change. So, like changing invisibility, changing 2-up rerollables and stuff like that may seem like it's good for the hobby. But like Juice said to me once, he was like, well, if you're going to take invisibility away or change it or change how, how 2-up rerollables work, then I want a ban on how many shots a turn you get. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the whole reason those types of things exist is because Tau armies were getting to shoot you 75 to 100 times a turn, twin link everything, and recover everything. They got to shoot you on the turn you deep striked in, then shoot you again on your turn, then shoot you again when you charge. Like, they literally got to shoot you like 6 times, 7 times in the span of 2 turns. That's why you need those rules. So, this is like a big article that's on Spiky Bits that Rob wrote. It's a big thing that we're really passionate about. When this Supremacy suit is not the end of the world if you get to just play Warhammer 40K.
Correct.
This guy is a nasty little guy, but if I have the ability to augment units with full spectrum of psychic powers, with the full spectrum of abilities, and I get to come in there with possibly a 2-up rollable Screamer Star and just literally charge him to hold him in combat for a couple turns until he stomps me to death, because he also has a way out. And also to show you that's like what happens when you ban gargantuan creatures.
So furthermore, it's not even just necessarily banning if monstrous gargantuan creatures are there, monstrous creatures or this and this. But if you start putting restrictions, I can't deal with this guy on what your list composition is for who you can ally with. So, for example, if we're at a single CAD, there's no way that the NIDS can deal with this guy at all. Not possible. But now if you're telling me if it's multiple CAD, if I can, there's some people out there that aren't allowing you to ally with
Apocalyptic allies.
Yeah, exactly. Allies of convenience or whatever the case may be. Like, if I don't have these options, if I don't have these tools, that everybody else, there's no way that I can interact with this model. So, that's
what we're talking. That goes, like, obviously we're on record of having lots of opinions on the subject, but the point is that if you have a compelling FAQ that fixes some of the loopholes and you play with the game as intended, and the only modifications you make to the game are in how you score it and maybe the mission structure, that may be all you need.
Exactly. And so we are running, because obviously this guy is an absolute juggernaut and a beast. Obviously he is way too undercosted. Obviously all these other things. But guess what he isn't? Unkillable.
No, definitely.
We could rattle off 5 things right now that'll kill him. Obviously, the most glaring one is Grav.
Oh, yeah. Grav will beat him up.
He's going to be pretty susceptible to Grav if you can actually get it there. But this is where, not necessarily for all you Space Marine fans, if a Tau player is smart, he's not going to let this Gladius Strike Force Tau or Grav kill him, because he's going to triple bubble wrap, and you're not going to be able to deep strike in and be within 24 inches. Got it. So the Grav that's going to come in clutch is the Cadillac Destroyers. A Cadillac Destroyer army would just smash all over this. So, we got to make sure that they're still in the game.
Oh, yeah. There's all sorts of things that assault out of reserves now. Like a Skyhammer Annihilation Force can catch you slipping by coming in turn 2.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, there's all manner of things that can get all over this guy. Like you were saying, there's things that can kill him, but obviously those things need to be available to us as.
They have to be.
Yeah.
Right. Or else you start playing in a vacuum, and then you start seeing these artificial, things rising to the top.
Yep.
Instead of the cream.
And I'm not saying because, and I said this not on the webcast, just to prove a point, I am not saying that we should play Unbound, everything, this and that. I'm not saying that. The game is obviously at a kind of weird spot sometimes in some people's minds. I love where the game is at, but do I think that if you start restricting stuff, all you're doing is a couple lists will come to the top, and you're stupid for showing up to a tournament and actually think you're going to win if you're not playing one of those lists?
Yeah.
You are immediately handicapping yourself because everybody else is infinity times better than you because of the restrictions. Not necessarily because the book is that good at face value, because the general is that strong at face value, is because of the rule set has propelled these archetypes of lists to be infinity times better.
To reference Rob's article, I just wish I knew the name of your article, Rob, that you wrote.
I don't even remember the title sometimes, to be honest, but it was something about 3 things not to ban in 40K or something like that, maybe.
So, spicy title. I like it.
Yeah, sounds about right.
No, it's true, man. It's just, so many things right now that are amazing. And something that you said is like, he doesn't advocate Unbound. I agree with that. And Unbound is pretty much garbage. We've all decided it was garbage because there was a system of points and force organization. We were always drawn to that. And that is actually an interesting parallel to draw with Age of Sigmar. Why Age of Sigmar has been so back and forth of a reception. It hasn't been universally loved or hated, but people either hate it or they love it. It's because Age of Sigmar is basically Unbound 40K, and we've already seen that most people don't like that.
Yeah.
We crave a structure. We crave a skeleton.
I mean, Jesus Christ, we want to play with rules. We want FAQs. We don't want FAQs so we can be restricted. We want FAQs so we can have guidelines. We need to be handheld, fed to the trough. We need to walk to the trough so we can eat,
a new report came out this week where, so a potential investor in Games Workshop, revealed a lot of things about their meeting, their investors meeting. And one of the things was that they only consider 20% of their customers gamers. And that really explains a lot, in my opinion, why they don't dedicate the resources that we desire, that we need to function as gamers. They haven't had FAQs. They don't seem to care, to be honest.
Well, what term do they use to describe their 80% of their clientele then?
Collectors, model collectors. Yep.
That makes sense.
80 is a strong statement. Now, would I believe that 80% of the community are casual gamers and not competitive gamers? 100%. Do I think that out of all the people play 40K and modeling and stuff, 80% of those just collect and they actually.
But here's the problem with their number. No matter how true that number is, there's a metric they have wrong there, which is assuming that model collectors also don't want FAQs.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the problem.
It definitely influences their purchases. I can't see how it can't. Why would you buy something that's perceived to suck?
Yes. No, that's what I'm saying. That's the mistake, is they think that gamers and model collectors want different things from an FAQ. Like they don't. They both want to have the models validated. They want the rules to have structure. They want to know that they can do the things they're doing. They want to have faith in the models. They want to have faith in the rules.
That's a really interesting point you brought up there. Furthermore, I think that there's going to be, and we're already starting to see it, where there's a shift from the competitive singles, air quotes, events at major tournaments, and we're starting to see more people filter into the casual events, like the narratives, and also like the Horus Heresy type things. The last year they had like a 40K camp thing at Adepticon, so we're starting to see the days of a 256 or even a 200 or maybe even like a 175 person singles event might be numbered if there's so much strife in the community. I feel like,
because if you don't have faith in the rule system and what's real, then like that kind of takes a lot of the fun out of your sales. If like in your heart that like this army you're playing with is technically illegal and everything about it is wrong, but you're winning with it, like that is an empty win, and that just discourages people from play.
But from that one person that plays because of that, how many other people don't play because of it, and that's a huge problem right now.
Yes, absolutely. Like that is a super solid point. And that's an interesting segue that gives us an opportunity to talk about a couple things here. One of them, which that the Long War would definitely be in negotiations, is currently in negotiations with, with some people at Adepticon to run the first Long War social, which would be done in Chicago and the convention hall, at that level of event, which would be obviously an amazing opportunity for us to show you what we believe bringing hobby back means, how we want to play events with a big hobby score attached to it, bringing back to the Magic days. So that is, so we will have the opportunity to show you guys what we're talking about for sure. And I do believe it will be kind of something similar to what Rob was talking about. Like, we don't think we're going to be running a singles event.
No. I don't think that's going to be a thing.
I think team is where it's at. Like, it's too social of a game, I think, to also like with our style, like what bringing hobby back means and having a social contract. I think it's too good of an opportunity to waste on not doing a team event, not doing some other team event that fits into the Adepticon style.
Yeah, agreed. And to be honest, that is their flagship, is the 4 or 5 man, the team event that they have, the 4-man team event there, and that's what it's about. And to be honest, I think running an additional team event there, like that is the most exhilarating fun that I can have playing 40K. I actually haven't spoke to anybody who doesn't like a team event.
No, generally they're always fun, and you get to play with your buddies and you get to have a blast, and it's like, everybody's involved in the game, and it's funsies.
Absolutely. And so that is a thing we're currently negotiating. That's a fact. And here's another fact. We are going to be dropping all the info and intel on the exact date that the Long War Kickstarter is going live in October. that we are currently working our asses off on that, bringing all the swag that you've been seeing Juice model for us very beautifully in the season 2 of the battle reports, wearing the new shirts, utilizing the new templates and the new dice. That is where you're going to be able to get all that stuff. And it's coming out very soon.
Exactly. That is the number one thing that I hear is like, yo, where can we get these dice? Where can we get these templates? Like, yo, you're about to find out.
It's about to get real. It's not limited. They're not limited to the dice and the t-shirts that you've seen. We're going to do stretch goals that have different dice, different tape measures, different templates, different shirts, hoodies, new collectible stickers and buttons and, possibly lanyards and keychains. We're literally hitting you with all the swag possible. But the thing I want to drive home though is the purpose of the Long War Kickstarter is the materials. You may have noticed that the season 2 of the Kickstarter, if you check out the longwar.net, if you go to our YouTube channel or anything, you'll notice that the new battle reports are obviously hitting new benchmarks in quality, new visuals, new audio, 2 things that we really needed. That is because we have an amazing camera on loan to us by a dear friend and also new shotgun mic. So we have all new equipment. We don't own that stuff and we are having to return that stuff and we need that stuff to maintain the quality and even some better stuff potentially to improve. Also,
there's going to be a major quality downgrade, I will say, if the Kickstarter money doesn't come in time versus when we have to give this camera stuff back, because it is literally the next level.
Yes, it is absolutely. It is. We're getting close to film quality. Like, we're almost there. And also the Beats Laboratory, as everyone knows, has been moved, relocated. Where we were filming before, we were lucky enough to have some dear friends of ours let us have some rent-free options. It's not rent-free anymore. The bills are piling up, so our company, which is, thematically all about, bringing hobby back. We have all these options for making money through ads and everything. Well, we're spending a lot of that money just keeping alive what we're doing. So that's what Kickstarters are for. They're for crowdsourcing some of these finances to really get the capital to push to that next level, to get through that wall. We're talking about every little bit, helps. Like every money we raise after our goal is going to be for possibly new lighting, new film quality lights, maybe soundproofing the Beats Laboratory, everything we can think of to improve the quality. Cause something we say all the time on the show is no matter how real something is, like how matter true or provocative a statement is, like it doesn't matter if it doesn't have a digestible format. If we sound stupid, like we're in fish bowls, if the video quality is pixelated, the bringing hobby back message will die. And so that is, in a nutshell, what the Kickstarter is going to be about. But obviously, we will have many more ads, many more videos, commercials, and leading up to that. But I think the more important thing to focus on is something that is happening this weekend that I think Juice might need to talk about real quick.
Yep, 100%. And I do want to get back last bit for me on the Kickstarters. I give a special shout out for all you haters out there that love to hate. Let me just tell you, when this Kickstarter drops and everybody is super pumped about all the fresh gear, everything else, you know what I'm a sucker for? I'm a sucker for I gotta have new dice. It is like I am like an addict. I have to have the freshest Adepticon dice every year. I have to have all these things. That's what this is for. The spirit of it is not for us to sell as some haters could potentially say, well, they're just trying to make money by selling some dice and they're pocketing everything. You can go back and look at the quality, the progression, everything else. Obviously, none of us are driving new cars. None of us are barely anything else. Like money is put back into.
I'm the only one driving a new car, and my dad had to give it to me as a gift.
Exactly. So,
and it's a 2004.
Here recently, I've been shouting out all my haters out there, not necessarily hating on just me, but just if you find yourself being a hater in general, this is a public service announcement to you. Keep your hating to yourself. We are bettering the hobby in all.
Yeah, so, I mean, the Hall of Veterans, all the people who have come through are subscribers to the early content. Everyone is helping. Everyone's a part of this movement. We got so many people on Twitter using the hashtag bringing hobby back. We are really making a difference in the community. And I think that mainly that's because of the veterans, the subscribers, the membership we have on all our mediums. It's really because of and for you guys.
Mm-hmm. I would also last thing before we move on and talk about what's going down in the Beats Laboratory live and in color this weekend. I would like to put an example out there. For everybody that doesn't know, we all three are entrepreneurs, and in our real lives and our jobs, we all run successful businesses outside of what we're doing right here with the Long War. So we don't have employees. Kenny, you got any employees?
Negative.
I have cats.
You have 3 cats. You know, they are expensive. They are more expensive than having employees.
Yeah.
So, but to put this in perspective for everybody, the amount of content that we put out, the amount of quality that we give everybody, there is our fellow podcasters and webcasters, everything else, the guys on the West Coast, this is their full-time job. Mm-hmm. This is what they make money on. And I'm not hating on them because they're doing an amazing job.
Well, this is our part-time jobs on top of our full-time jobs.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to drive home. We are doing this on the side, an extra 100 hours a week on the side on top of putting our lives and everything else on. You know, this isn't – just imagine when we can get to the point where this can be our full-time job.
That's the goal. I mean, that is the whole goal. That's why we all got together on January 5th and launched our YouTube channel. The goal was that hopefully in a year or two – we could segue from our businesses into this is our business, kind of, you know, with our powers combined, you're a Captain Planet, you know?
I feel like, you know, you guys, everybody out there, even myself included, you know, you can tell we launched Long War, you know, roughly in March, and, you know, the amount of quality increase since then has been remarkable. And, you know, if this was like our full-time job, you know, all of us, the amount of stuff we could do and the amount of, you know, contributions to the hobby is just exponential in my opinion. You know, I've been doing this, you know, blogs and stuff for 9 years now, and I don't even think, you know, I've scratched the surface to what I feel like we could do in the future, you know, as a team and, you know, as a singular focus. So it's really exciting, you know, and it's really nice to have all the supporters out there. It's really awesome. So I couldn't think of anything else I'd rather do every day.
Dear veterans, quickly make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
And we're back, kicking it with my boys. And let me just do it real quick since we talked about it on the webcast. I'm joined tonight by 2 fellow juggalos, members of the Insane Clown Posse here. And this is not for real. We're totally joking. If you're actually a juggalo, you probably don't need to be listening to us because you're insane. You're literally insane. You guys are crazy people. But we did say on the podcast, a webcast, that we would reveal on the podcast what we decided Juice's juggalo name would be if he was an insane member of the Insane Clown Posse followers. Because a couple years ago, we got really into
Juggalo News.
Juggalo News.
Juggalo News.
It's this insanely funny on funnyordie.com's YouTube channel.
Global warming is a myth.
It's literally the most hilarious video of all time. That's the only thing funny. The only thing cool about the Insane Clown Posse Juggalos is that they're hilarious to make fun of. And so we watched that video. We got all into it. It was at Adepticon 2 years ago, and we all gave each other Juggalo names. Mine was T.S. Esquire, which is short for Taint Salad, practicing attorney at law. And Rob, what were you?
Mine was Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, because everyone online said you look like Ellen DeGeneres on your YouTube, on your Facebook, right?
Yes, you know, sometimes I get that short haircut and I'm not happy with it.
This is before you were taking the shots, though. This is.
I'm mostly a real boy now.
And so since Juice wasn't a part of the crew back in those days, you know, he hasn't, you know, we haven't thought about it in a while. And, you know, I got to thinking about it and I was like, you know what? I had the perfect name for Juice. This is it. If you guys are ready for it.
I'm ready. I've literally been waiting for you to say this name. Tell me, please.
2 Crunk Pussy Killer. But obviously with an A, Pussy Killer.
Killer. Yes, exactly.
2 Crunk Pussy Killer. Welcome to the world. Let me introduce you to 2 Crunk Pussy Killer, the official name of Juice. If he was an insane stupid
Cloud
person
Posse.
who worshipped the Insane Clown Posse.
Yep, this is me. This is who I am. Thug life.
Thug life. Anyway, now that we got that out of the way, since we said we were talking about it, I think that we still have to talk about Scar Brand.
We should probably jump back to Tabletop Market Watch and Scar Brand for real.
Who is a true pussy killer.
Yes.
He is true.
Okay.
Oh my God. Yes.
He does not play. When I mean pussy, I mean all the cats. All three of Robbie B's cats just scattered because we said the word Scar Brand.
Oh my God. So obviously we talked about Scar Brand a bit. And so I feel like I don't want to be too negative because it's easy to get negative when I see bloodthirsters that aren't gargantuan creatures. That is the end of the negativity. The end. He is not a gargantuan creature. I'm sad about that.
I can see your point there, but he is super cool. He's got that rage embodied rule. So he's everybody within 12 inches of him, friend or foe, have rage and hatred. So you can kind of game that, I feel like, a little bit.
And I thought, and the only reason I say the hatred of it is because I understand that there's a little bit of complexity to make it a flying monstrous creature or gargantuan creature. But he's not flying. So I thought they really would do it with him. But having said that away, if they keep his points relatively low, he could be an interesting add-on to a lot of options.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I mean, buffing an army that has apocalyptic allies.
Yep, that's the main one. Because initially, when you think of him, you're like, oh, I mean, obviously, we just go with the OG Slaanesh demons. You know, maybe a bunch of Slaanesh Furies, Deep Strike, Scarbrand in, and give them all this ability to go at initiative, you know, higher initiative with extra attacks and rage. That would be amazing, right? But then it's like, wait, he says it's friend or foe. Every ally in the ally matrix is either a friend or foe. So you can add him to anything, a Green Tide. You can add him to Skyhammer Annihilation Force, Deep Strike him in. You can add him to anything you want to augment, friend or foe, Tyrannus, anything.
And he doesn't really have a drawback. Like, he has to charge the nearest thing and attack it. He just kind of still does what he wants, you know?
Yeah.
This isn't like 4th edition silliness. And he's got those two badass axes. One's got Armor Bane, one's got Flesh Bane, Strength of User, AP2. I mean, you pick your poison there, right?
If he is not a point over 200, I might make some lists with him.
I think that's the key. I don't think he's playable over 200 points, to be honest.
You know, so yes, obviously the restriction of how slow he is. How resilient is he going to be?
He's a bloodthirster that can't fly. Like if he was a flying bloodthirster, he'd be amazing. But the fact is that you hit him on ballistic skill. He's got 5 wounds, toughness 6, 3 up armor save, 5 invulnerable. He's got a decent stat line, but like we put it in this perspective, like the Great Unclean one only moves 6 inches and he's got a 2 up cover save and he's toughness 7.
Yeah,
that's I mean? Like
that's where I was going with this. It's like, all right, well, he's got to come with Shroud base. You know, it doesn't even make sense that Scarbrand doesn't move. Are you sure he just isn't? Because he moved 12 inches before.
No, he never did.
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
No, he's the wingless bloodthirster. He Tzeentch tricked him into stepping up to Khorne. So he was the most badass bloodthirster there ever was, but he got tricked into thinking he was like so strong he could challenge Khorne, and then he got like literally thrown across the planet.
Smited. Yeah.
And he like rolled across the planet for like a whole day and like literally broke his wings down to nothing. Like he's just crippled for life now. Always trying. So the reason he has all these special rules is he's so hard to paint to get back into Khorne's good graces that he literally just blood all the time has to be shed, you know, friend or foe. So that's what I thought would be perfect now that he's modeled with these like derelict broken wings. I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to make him a gargantuan creature, you know, but.
Yeah, I don't know. It's they definitely had the opportunity there, but you bring up an interesting point with the Great Unclean one. Like, you just can't compare the two.
Let me put it this way: the Great Unclean one sucks. Like, he fucking sucks. I play a lot of demons,
and he's better.
God, as much as I love the Great Unclean one, like if you have to deep strike him in, and then that shit gets unreliable. Outside of that, he literally sucks. Like, he sucks. He's only good for unlocking demons. Demon Princes is heavies, but he never does anything. Like, Scarbrand's never going to do anything unless you deep strike him in, and then there's a level of uncertainty and unreliability there. But he is playable as long as he's 200 points. He's 200 points. I play him. I would love to play him in like a double CAD demon army with 120 Furies that I have to mark as Slaanesh.
You know, exactly. Everything has its place. And to be honest, as I'm breaking down with the Nid book and finally getting back to some of my love, as I've kind of been hitting spoilers with, it's like Ravagers and this Damatron and stuff like that, they have their place as well. Is it going to be competitive? Probably not, you know, because again, he is just not survivable without being able to fly. You know, it's not going to be, or access.
Yeah, it's like a poor man's invisibility. Like you need it.
Yeah. That you never had to worry about going to Blitzkill 2 getting shot at.
Yeah,
Like some
seriously.
people's FAQs.
Like some people's gangster FAQs. Yeah.
So brutal. But
He
yeah,
is-
I mean,
he is beautiful though. Like, I mean, he's a beautiful model. Like, obviously the new Bloodthirster is beautiful, but he's got the new, like, busted up wings. He's great looking. It's just, I hope that he has points that reflect, his abilities. And he might, because you can see GW has a hard on for, things that have wounds and toughnesses being pointed aggressively,
yeah, no.
Yeah, and it's
Out of that.
so crazy to think too. Like the new D Thirster, got a lot of love. And to be honest, like I feel like it is a solid model. I think like they've done it quasi good justice, and things like that. But dang, it's like Scarbrand effectively is not necessarily good.
Chaos Space Marines are fixed today if they could take like a greater demon that is anything that's a gargantuan creature. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what's so insane about it. Like, we're going to get this Kaitan, which we talked about, and I went back and forth hating on it or not, but he is definitely the best Night Titan in the game, and he's like a little bit over 500 points.
Yep.
The Korin Kaitan. But let me put it this way. He's a little bit over 500 points. The Tau Supremacy suit is exactly 600 points and is 1,000 times
Oh my god, it's so much better than Kaitan.
capable of killing things. Like, it's
Yeah,
something like that.
1,000 times 10 better, I think.
Yeah.
So
Seriously.
so frustrating sometimes to see.
GW just has it twisted. Like, you see, like, they put out these, like, AdMech robots, and then they put out a Nemesis Dread Knight. So these are two things that are amazing. A Nemesis Dread Knight is 135 points. He's toughness 6, has 4 wounds, a 2-up save, and a 5-up invulnerable, and he's a monster creature. He's literally the best Dread Knight ever. Right? The best Dread Knight ever. You could even make a Dread Knight toughness 7 with a 3-up armor save and just feel no pain or something, right?
Yep.
But like, still what? 4 wounds, toughness 6, 2-up, 5-up. That is a billion times better than the Dreadnought. These AdMech robots, billion times better than the Dreadnought. This is obviously where it should go. If you want these smaller, compelling units that are like robotic, they should just have a toughness value and more wounds.
I just don't get how you can say Dread Knight and Dreadnought and not have it have wounds and be a monstrous creature.
Or you need to give them a serious point restriction. Like, let me put it this way, Juice. A Dreadnought with a multi-melta is 100 points. That motherfucker doesn't need to be a penny over 50 points.
No, not at all.
That is how many points that is worth. It is literally worth 50 points.
Yep.
That is what a Dreadnought with a multi-melta and a Dreadnought close combat weapon is worth. He's worth 50 points.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, a Razorback, which is 75 points, is infinity times better.
Yes, it's objective secure, moves way faster, and it can shoot things.
Yep. And carry dedicated transport, it can carry things, this and this, and it can move up to 18 inches in a turn. It's not stuck.
So much more tactical. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It's like, so they got it twisted with the armor and the toughness ratio. They're obviously, as we talked about earlier, like they're not catering to the gamers, and they're just messing up. And that the mistake they're making is they think that collectors and gamers have different desires when it comes to rules. No, they both look at the rules and they both want compelling things, man. Like,
Because that's what inspires, and I feel like sometimes I think about what happened with Age of Sigmar sometimes, and I really think it boils down to them destroying the fluff. Like, you could have switched the game to, but destroying, saying this is no longer Warhammer Fantasy. Like, what were you thinking? Like, you could have easily said, oh, it's the end times. Oh, okay, well, everything blows up and chaos takes over. But hey, guess what? Sigmar escapes up to the heavens. Boom, still the old world. Hey, everything's still here. You still have all your flavors. Blah, 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 blah. That would have made it more palatable. And now it's the Age of Sigmar, but it's not a different game. It's not blah, blah, blah. You can't just say people are just going to buy this shit just to buy it. You just can't say that. Yes, we're going to buy it, but it has to have value. This shit's $100. It better have $100 with a value to us. Like, I can do the, and the value is what's in your mind sometimes.
That's a classic GW money grab mistake they make. It's like, as much as we love this company, man, they just need to shut up and hire us already. Like, we talk about this all the time. Like, why don't they just hire the Long War? Like, we have all the answers, man.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Nobody will ever complain with what we say or do. Nobody will ever find any flaws. I just feel like we got this unlocked.
We do.
If not, we will let the haters know.
Yeah. Obviously, we'll have to forge a whole new segment, called, haters need to STFU,
That's right. Capital. Exclamation.
Yo, guess how many people I ban on Spiky Bit's Facebook like every day?
How many?
Like
at least
3 to 5.
But people just need to realize that hate is not like constructive criticism is one thing, and I appreciate all the constructive criticism that we receive on everything we do.
Most definitely.
Those like thing is like when I go on certain other forums that are unpalatable, and like it's just like, why does it gotta be phrased that way? Like simple phrasing just changes the tone of everything. Like we had a question earlier in the webcast tonight about like, hey, if I'm playing Chaos Space Marines and I go up against someone playing Necrons and they hit me up with like, my art list is cheesy and it's bullshit, like what should I do about that? And that's a hard situation to approach. And the answer is you need to be a social human being, which is a human, needs to diffuse confrontation, needs to avoid confrontation, and needs to diffuse situations and tension with their words. That is one of the things that we can do that nothing else on this planet can do, is like real communication. Like you like, if someone's doing something you don't like, take a step back. It's a game, man. You don't have to be mad at somebody just because they played the game to their best ability and they took away your ability to do something within the game, which is, first off, the 2.5 hours you guys are playing is never going to be repeated again. Like no two games are ever the same, So like, get over it. It's like you like the whole life and times of a whole planet, like evolved and was destroyed in 2.5 hour session. Like you don't need to have the hate. And that's what I don't understand when you go in all these places. You see everyone just chose. It's like we always quote Jay and Silent Bob. It's like, what the fuck is the internet? The internet is a place that people come together to bitch about things. Like that is,
or post their pictures of cats.
Or post their pictures of cats. And that's the biggest problem, is that that's where the long war is. That's what we're dedicated to. We're dedicated to the hobby, not to the hate. But obviously there's fun. Sometimes it gets fun to hate on things, but you always got to take it with a grain of salt, man. Like you can't like rage out and get your ass banned from Spiky Bits because you're a hater.
Because you came in too hot being a hater. Like, get your hate under control. Like, we can definitely break down, and that's why I tried to throw in that caveat earlier. I definitely am hating on that new Tau suit, but I'm a realist. My hate is in all fairness and funness. Like, it is what it is. This is still, what we do. So don't keep your hate at bay. If not, we're gonna let you know.
Yeah, we're gonna call somebody.
Well, yeah, exactly.
We're gonna call somebody.
Or you just won't be able to comment next time. Whatever.
You'll be the angriest hater ever because you won't have an outlet.
I have literally banned a whole town's IP address from posting on my site because I had somebody that kept coming back over and over and over, and he's switching IPs. And I was like, you know what? Where is this IP? And I was like, and I'm not going to tell you where it was, but I'm just going to say
their whole town can't post.
Their whole town cannot post on SpikyBits.com.
All right. So before we move on, I have two things to say about this. Love that move. Phenomenal.
That's what we call a boss move.
Yo, that's what you call a big dick bandit. Okay. You're like, I got you. But to you hater, I have to give you a golf clap. You are so persistent in your
angry
to want to hate. I am actually going to commend you with a quiet golf clap. Good job. Quasi good job, hater.
Oh my God. Let me just tell a quick 2-minute anecdote about how I had to teach my girlfriend Bonet how to deal with internet trolls.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't know anything about trolls because she's like a nerd, but not like how we are. She's like, I'm a nerd. Why? Because you saw Avengers twice, so she doesn't know what an internet troll is, So she gets into these Facebook wars, right? With these people. She's like, just comment back. It's like, no, they're infuriating me. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm carefully crafting this 6-paragraph email. I was like, this step 1, don't feed the trolls. She's like, no, but you're going to see, I'm just going to develop the most clear and concise argument so there's no way they can respond back to me. Of course, she does this for 2 days and it's obviously just getting worse and worse. And she's like, then she gets mad at me and she's like, hey, why aren't you on my Facebook page defending me? I was like, oh, I thought we talked about this. They're trolls. You can't do anything about it. She's like, no. And I was like, fine. She got mad at me. So I was like, fine, let me get on there. Let me just show you how this works. So I get on her Facebook page, as me, comment on the same thread, look at the subject, comment a somewhat suitably intelligent counter argument while being as passive aggressive dick as possible, right?
Fair enough.
to provoke this guy, right? I'm as much of a passive aggressive dick as possible. This guy is provoked into now attacking me with this huge 3-paragraph response because now I've trolled him, right? And I get this, I pull this 3 paragraphs response out of him, immediately respond with too long, didn't read. It was literally just as soon as it comes in, it's like, Monet, prepare to block him. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, get up on your laptop, cue him up, open the Facebook page to block him. Okay, I've done that. Too long, didn't read, send, block him.
Yep.
Drop the mic.
The theory that this human being is now experiencing as he can no longer respond and having the last thing he said that he actually put thought into.
Yep. Is
being responded to by too long can read, and now he's been blocked. She's like, oh my God.
This is what we call, there's 2 boxes you can check, a win and a loss. Check that. Put old double X on the win column, okay?
Yep.
Oh, that's so good. So good.
Yep. So joys in life. Well, look, before we get any further, I want to just skim over the webcast recap because I want to make sure that we have time. I am super excited for this list that Kenny's going to break it down for us on. But so tonight in webcast recap was an absolute fun hour. Please, if you have not, if you're listening to this on your ride to work, then on your ride home, please make sure check it out on YouTube, longwar.net. Check it and listen to another hour. But we had a room full of people, a lot of new faces. Mainly the topic of tonight, on top of a lot of things that we kind of hit on this evening in the podcast, was obviously the best movie of all times ever in the history of ever is Masters of the Universe, Dolph Lundgren. He won Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Music, Best Actor.
Yeah, I think you said that already.
I mean, it just beat out Highlander for best movie of all time.
Yeah, I mean, best cry scene, best everything. I don't. What else? Whatever it is.
Didn't it have Telly Savalas in it too? I think it did.
Yeah, it had the chick from Friends. What's her name?
Courtney Cox or something.
Courtney Cox. Yeah,
Courtney Cox was Tila.
She was looking too fun.
Yeah.
So
absolutely, that's what we rallied to a lot tonight. We like to have fun. We like to go in. Definitely, the conversations going on with a lot of people asking new questions on where they can find information. Star Wars Armada. We actually had one of our new guest night, Jonathan, tuned in and wanted to know orcs. He has an army, and he wants to know what is the best orc Lord of War that he can add into his army. He actually gave us the rundown on the Def rockets, I think is what they were, but they're 36-inch range, strength DAP2, is something like that an option viable.
That's right. We did discuss it briefly in the webcast. And I still think that the best orc Lord of War spot is probably going to be the Stampa, simply because 35-point investment, you can make an objective secure by shoving 10 Gretchen inside of it,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, another point on why the Hierophant and stuff like that is so powerful is because of the fact that it can have a carrying capacity if you pay for the upgrade. So I would definitely have to agree with Kenny. Taking something is so durable, the offensive output, the stomps, everything that it can do, now it is objective secured. I mean, that's too good.
Well, plus you can put the custom force field too. That's always solid.
Yeah, you can make it any version of the Stampa you want. You can make it the unkillable Stampa. You can make it the more cheaper objective secure Stampa with more things around it. It's pretty good. And the fact that it's in their codex now and you don't have to dig deep for any Forge World books. It's pretty solid.
I got no beef with it.
No.
Do I?
100%. And then we actually already talked about tonight about how to deal with the hater. So that is that's basically where we're at. It was a bunch of fun. Everybody commenting in. Please make sure that if you haven't already, like I've already said, go check it out and let us know what you think. Kenny, I can't wait anymore. I'm definitely excited to hear about this list.
So I called Rob maybe last week about this list and talked to my brother briefly about it. It's so crazy. I've just been so in a tailspin of trying to figure out what I wanted to play. And it's so crazy. It took me so long to put these two formations together. Obviously, the first formation in this list is an 1850 list, is the Fist of Corn. Obviously, Got 20 berserkers and a Charybdis assault ram with a Icon of Wrath and a champion with a lightning claw and a power fist, because you're going to be getting into challenges with this guy. You can actually win him, and also giving the Icon of Wrath is just the best investment. It gives you Furious Charge and lets you reroll the assault distance. So you need that. So 20 berserkers, Furious Charge, Rage, Weapon Skill 5, coming out of a Charybdis assault, right? So now it's like, I'm going to give you Juice. I'm going to give you 2 guesses to figure out what I'm pairing this with. 2 guesses to figure out what faction I'm pairing this with.
Blood Angels.
No.
Ooh, close.
Sisters of Battle.
Ultramarines. Skyhammer Annihilation Force.
I love it.
So I was like, why don't I just make them apocalyptic, right? So I bring in the Skyhammer Annihilation Force, but I'm not doing that stupid minimum assault squad shit. I'm doing the biggest assault squads possible. I have an additional 20 assault marines, 2 10-man squads. And this is my formula. I like them because at 10 men, you can take 2 eviscerators that are phantom. So I take 10 guys, 2 eviscerators, and the sergeant has a melta bomb. Oh. So that way you don't lose your eviscerators and challenges, and you actually have the ability to like go through Land Raiders and Night Titans with a double charge, right? So I have 20 assault marines, and here's the best part about the Skyhammer Annihilation Force. People don't realize this. Like, they have all the special rules in the game. Like, assault marines and the Skyhammer Annihilation Force, they get to reroll their assault all the time, and they all have Hammer of Wrath, and they get to use their jump pack and the movement and the assault phase. So if I bring 20 assault marines out of Skyhammer Annihilation Force down, they get to reroll their charges too, and I get to charge you with a free hit from the Hammer of Wrath. So when you take a unit of 10 guys who have 30 attacks in the charge, plus let's say 7 of them are going to auto hit you with another strength 4 attack, it's like the whole squad has 4 or 5 attacks, because of that auto hit. I mean, we talked about this briefly before. So like these guys are just as deadly, almost just as deadly as the Berserkers, because they also are going to be accompanied by the 2 Devastator squads and Drop Pod for the Skyhammer Annihilation Force. And I'm doing the Long War Beats Laboratory Special, which is the most point efficient way to run them, which is 2 grav cannons, 2 multi-meltas, and 1 combi grav. That is exactly where you want to be at with the number of grav shots and tank opening spots and points. They're perfect. So the turn these guys come in, they're relentless. You pop the Ultramarine Devastator doctrine, right? So you just lay into somebody with this firepower, but it also makes your assault marines reroll 1s in close combat. So you really are starting to do damage with these 20 assault marines, right? That can assault the turn they come in. So now I have 40 marines profile assaulting you on turn 1.
Absolutely.
Right? Followed by an amazing level of firepower kind of hitting you in that midfield. And here's the last thing I do. This is a 3-source army. Is another formation. I'm taking the old 10th Company Task Force, Raven Guard.
Get out of here.
And so the 10th Company Task Force is, I'm taking 3 units of 3 Scout Bikers. And they all have a sergeant with a locator beacon who also has a combi grav. So they can infiltrate and scout. And on the first turn of the game, they're going to have a 2+ cover save when they jink, because they're Raven Guard. Mm-hmm. So basically, I could scout and infiltrate these bikes exactly where I want with the locator beacons. Right? Yep. And then if you go first, you literally have to peel through 15 toughness 5 2-up cover saves to kill all my locator beacons. Or sorry, 9. You have to kill like you have to kill a whole 9-man toughness 5 Terminator squad, which is more like killing 18 Terminators. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good luck with that.
Like if you go first. But if I go first, I'm going to put these guys exactly where I want, so that the 2 assault marine squads have like a 3-inch charge, because they're going to all be on 30mm bases. So I'm going to be like, place them within 6 inches, make my concentric circles around it. I'm 3 inches away right here. But first thing you do is you drop the Charybdis, right? Find out where its final location is, get all your berserkers out, get the easy charge there. Then you bring in the 2 assault squads off of the locator beacons exactly where you want to charge there. And then you keep 1 locator beacon or 2 in the back and kind of in the midfield to put your drop pods with your devastators exactly on the objectives. Because a drop pod that gets a direct hit within 3 inches of the objective is a problem for the opponent.
Oh yeah.
So you have to address that.
Yeah, that is holding that down.
It's a thing. So you need these 2 drop pods to be on objectives. So 2 objectives camped out by 2 drop pods, but they just need to be within 3 inches. And then you can get your Devastator squads out with Relentless and Devastator Doctrine to literally just, I mean, it's like, what is it? 10, 20, it's 10, 20, 20, like 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 30. It's like 32, 36 grab shots that are mostly twin linked on turn 1 and bunch of Melta. And then I charge you with all this stuff. Dude, I did the math on it. Like, it does the Lord's work, man. The Lord of the Dark Lord, obviously.
Yeah. So a couple things like I'd like to go in on is like I'm absolutely loving these assault squads, and
They're good.
Yeah, and you want to know why? Especially Ken, is because it's got that perfect. I think that really, I won't say perfect. It's got that really, really solid amount of offense that you don't get that overbleed that we talk about, where they wipe something out and now they're going to get shot to shit.
Yep.
They've got, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to tie you up, and I'm going to do quality damage. I'm going to make you roll a lot of saves on that first turn that I charge. And then I should be able to roll right back out of combat on the opponent's turn.
Yep. And 20 of your things that are assaulting the turn 1 have jump packs. Like, they get to move quick after they get out.
The Goldilocks.
And so a good thing about that is like, so when you come in and you engage somebody with 20 Berserkers, these guys are weapon skill 5, rage, you know, all that stuff, fierce charge. They're doing damage. Well, the 20 Assault Marines, you know, with re-rolling 1s and Hammer Wrath are doing similar damage. Then on the next turn when you charge somebody or you're still in combat, you just pop the Assault Doctrine and they get to re-roll attacks now. So they get to keep their damage level high for 2 turns, just like how the Berserkers get to charge somebody and refresh their fierce charge. And they have counterattacks, so they get to kind of have, so like both units for at least 2 turns get to be gangsters, you know?
Yeah.
And now we've talked about that. This is obviously a good list. If you get charged by 40 Marines on turn 1, that's going to be a problem for you if I go first, no matter who you are, especially if I can gut angles of your Death Stars out with my grav. So now here's the linchpin of this is why it's a chaos themed army. I'm just tired of playing pure chaos codex to get my chaos on. This is the theme of the army. Obviously it's a Khorne Charybdis assault ram with Khorne Berserkers in it. It's Iron Warriors Devastator squads with Iron Warriors drop pods to be painted that way for the Skyrim Annihilation Force. The 20 Assault Marines are going to be painted Night Lords.
Oh, fresh.
And then the Raven Guard Bikers are going to be Alpha Legion.
Well, clearly I can get behind most of that.
Yo, so literally you just say, you know what? This is the Chaos Army that I was meant to play. You know what I mean? Like you have all the flavors. And even if you just want to simplify it, you could just say everything's Khorne except the Devastator squads and their Iron Warriors, which they employ Khorne all the time. But I would love an opportunity to do some cool counts as, Night Lords jump pack guys and some sweet Alpha Legion paid jobs. Bring it back. You know what I mean? Like, I think that this is the most aggressive list I've ever come up with.
Yo, it definitely seems balls deep.
Like, there's a lot of things I don't care about with a list like this.
Yeah.
As long as, like, all the worst Death Stars in the game, I don't care about if I can go first before, you know? Like.
It definitely dictates the tempo of battle, which is always nice in this day and age.
So definitely was happy to talk about that. That is going to be Kenny's new project. That is going to be how I'm going to hold it down, bringing hobby back for chaos. This is my hobby pipe dream, as well as a competitive list. I think is.
Yo, there we go. It's
a twofer.
Yo, and you want to know what? I love outside of the box how it is, man. Like that is everybody's like, oh, I wish 40K, like 40K. This is 40K.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is the new 40K. This is what it is. I'm merging ideas together. I'm forging the narrative of putting these armies together. People are like, oh, well, you know, I've referenced you haters because I know there's a few of you out there already just heard that as hating because of 3 sources. But you want to know what? Did you just hear the fluff behind it and this and this? And, you know, I mean, like, get with the new 40K or play Blood Bowl, dog.
Yeah, and actually, as you were talking, I was channeling you when you were playing your Legion, and you were playing Legion with the Tyranids.
Yeah,
and I love that. But remember how people ask you like, does the one eye open thing ever fuck you up in a game? And you were like, nah, it doesn't really. And same thing here in this army. Even though all my assault units are gonna be close together, the one eye open roll only prohibits you from moving, shooting, and launching assaults. Not if I'm already engaged in assaults.
Guess what? Stop You're probably going to dictate that. Yeah.
So I'm going to be in a close combat with you for probably 2 turns. The one eye open roll is not going to matter. And then when I do bounce out of combat, I'll use acceleration results to get outside of 6 inches.
Boom.
Like, it's simple as that. These guys go 3 inches this way. These guys go 4 inches that way. There it is. Like, it's good to go. You know, there's all sorts of ways to play a list like this to justify a list. But like, basically what I'm saying is if you love a certain thing, like Chaos, there's a way to make it work for you without actually having to play Chaos Codex, like Chaos Space Marines. Like, you know what? I'm just not going to hurt myself anymore. I'm not going to play Space Marine equivalent models out of the Chaos Space Marine Codex. You know, it's just not going to. Like, they're just the worst. I'm going to play Space Marines and count them as Chaos Space Marines.
Exactly.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I've been doing that for years.
Oh yeah, you invented that practically.
I'm like, why do I got to keep painting all these things different colors? Why don't I just paint them one color?
Yep, all Iron Warriors, and then they get to have "And They Should Know No Fear."
Definitely okay with that. They should, anyways.
Good Lord.
Don't even get me started there. Anywho, well, that was a really exciting hobby pipe dream. It's mirrors some of my own. I feel like
Guys, that's why I brought it to you first because I knew you already had most of the models.
I do.
Please, Rob, tell me you have 20 Raptors.
I don't, but I do have
20 warp
apparently I
cats.
have a cat.
20
She's
cats.
Really excited.
20
She's
cats.
really excited about 20 Raptors. I do have 20 Blood Angels with jump packs. I feel like I have 60 Blood Angels with jump packs.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a true story.
They don't sell them without jump packs back in the day.
No, they did not. Word.
Oh well, but yeah, no, we could talk. We can make this happen. It'll be funsies.
Hell yeah. Well, let's also, before we head out of the show, let's reference Warzone Atlanta one last time. Before we forget more about them. They're coming up in November, right?
Yeah, I think it's November 19th. I want to say. Let me look at the calendar here.
Now,
They are
17th.
November 15th.
so
wait.
the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. You will not miss it if you come in on those days.
Yep. The November 1st through the 30th. Got it.
Got it.
I believe it is the 14th and 15th.
Yeah, there we go.
So these guys have issued us a special code if you go up on their website. If you just Google, I don't even know if they have an official website yet or where they're taking payments, but if you just search out Warzone Atlanta online, you will find them. If you use the code CLUTCH, you will get a free drink voucher. Check them out. These guys are bringing hobby back. These guys are awesome.
Yeah, we love the Atlanta crew. All the general staff guys down there.
Every single one of them.
Good bunch,
Yeah, they're,
good bunch
you know,
of dudes.
I like hanging out with a bunch of shorties, you know, that
Yeah,
are
a
a
bunch
bunch
of
of small
midgets.
guys.
Bunch of 6'7" short people.
Yeah, you know, I honestly have never seen so many over 6'5" people in my life, especially like shy basketball.
Yeah, I'm not
Next thing I
used to
know-
being the smallest dude in the room or the
Yeah.
shortest dude in the room.
Yo, for real, that does not happen to me very often. And next thing I know, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go talk to these other people that aren't towering over me.
Yeah,
So I
seriously.
got to rebuild some of this self-esteem.
How's the weather up there?
Great guys. Absolutely love those guys.
Hell yeah.
No doubt. Well, I think we touched on all the stuff we wanted to tonight.
Yep, I think we were scattered, but sometimes you just got to get back with the crew, get back in your rhythm, and just talk and just talk shit with your buddies. Thank you for listening to me talk shit with my buddies.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it for this one. So make sure you head on over to thelongwar.net. I know we said it a lot tonight, but it is the home of the battle reports for exclusive content and early access videos. Become a veteran of the Long War today.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. TheLongWar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.